Hey, thank you everybody for joining us. Give us a second as everybody filters in and we get ready to start our very, very special Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous chat ahead of the release of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Season 5. So, yeah, if you just hang tight and we're going to let everybody file in here and give everyone a chance to join, then we will be at a good position to start. For those unfamiliar, my name is Chris. Chris Likes Dinos at Jurassic Outpost. We will be facilitating the conversation of this very exciting event, and we are going to be joined by quite a few very special guests who are filing in as we speak right now. So just give us a little bit of time, and a few more people will join us, then we can get started. While we're waiting, I hope that everybody has caught up with Camp Cretaceous seasons 1 through 4. We will have spoilers for seasons 1 through 4, but don't worry, we will not be spoiling what happens in season 5. We might touch on a few things that you might have seen in the trailers, but otherwise we are avoiding spoiling the show ahead of its release, which you can watch tonight at midnight, by the way, which I'm sure everybody listening knows. But okay, we have so far Rainy Rodriguez has joined us, who plays Sammy in Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, and I'm trying to see who else has joined us in here. I think that we're still waiting on a few others. I will. So tonight we're going to be joined by Scott Kramer, executive. Sorry about that. I accidentally hit the mute button. Tonight we're going to be joined by Scott Kramer, who many of you know, who's worked on the Camp Cretaceous series. We have Rainy Rainy Rodriguez, who plays Sammy in the show. We will have Paul-Mikel Williams join us, who plays Darius. We will have Ryan Potter, who plays Kenji. And we will let you know as soon as we are ready to start. Okay, I think that we're going to go ahead and get started here. So I will allow our guests to introduce themselves. Scott, can you kick it off?
We're trying to get Scott on right now. Let's start off with Rainy.
All right, Rainy, could you introduce yourself?
Absolutely, absolutely. Can you guys hear me okay? Hello, hello. My name is Rainy Rodriguez, and I voice the role of Sammy Gutierrez on Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. And I am so uber excited to be here and share our final season with you guys.
Can you believe that we are already here at the final season? It feels like Camp Cretaceous has been around forever, but it also this time has just blown by so quickly.
Yeah, it really, really has. Which is crazy. I remember recording this and us cast like just waiting for the world to get to see the show, and now here we are in our final season. It's just wild to be all the way out here and here so everybody can see it, and I'm just so excited. I That's literally the only way that you can feel at this point. It's just so excited, so humbled, so lucky to get all the way here to our final season for everyone to see it, and just everyone's put so much hard work into it. And I know you said earlier, spoiler free. It's so hard to not talk about spoilers, and it's like we're like literally, I don't know, like 8 hours away from midnight when everybody can see it, and I'm so excited to just have everybody watch it and let us know what you think. And it's going to be really, really exciting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was lucky enough to have seen the season, and I really had a great time. And I cannot wait until everybody else has that opportunity. And it's not going to be long now. Um, you know what? So why don't we, while we're waiting for everyone to,
Paul. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I was going to say, I think it says Paul is a listener. I can see Paul there. I don't know if Paul, you got to request the mic. Twitter Spaces is so new to all of us. If you got to like request the mic, or if you guys see him there to add him into this, because I can see him there.
yeah, it looks like we have sent the invite over, so they should be able to speak shortly once we get that. In the meantime, while we're figuring that out, I do have a question using the Ask JWCC hashtag, I guess, to kind of kick things off, and it's a very simple one. What was it like joining the Jurassic universe?
Wow, just a dream that I didn't even know that I had, to be quite honest with you. As a lot of people have probably heard in different interviews that I've done, I really, really got into the franchise in 2015 when Jurassic World, the first movie, came out with Chris Pratt. And I saw the movie was coming to theaters. My family and I were like, we have to go see it. We have to go see it. It looks amazing. And I was like so overly excited for it. My whole family is like, but you've never even seen Jurassic Park before. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're right. So my brother and I binged the first three movies and immediately just fell in love with the whole franchise. Like every piece of information I could get my hands on about this world, I did. Like it was just what a special treat it was to discover that so late on, but still feel so involved in everything that's happening. And then fast forward to getting the audition for the show. And I remember it popping up in my email and me recording it at my family's tire shop in Bryan, Texas. And I remember sending it off and just being like, if I could get into this show, this would just change my life. Like I need to be in this universe. I need to be in this franchise. I can feel it. And lo and behold, here I am. And it's just wild. I mean, it is something that I never could have imagined. Being a part of different franchises over my career has been a really good blessing, but there is nothing like the Jurassic franchise. The universe that these fans are in, they are just so diehard and so dedicated, new or old. It's like people are discovering it every month, I feel like. And speaking for me personally, everywhere I go, whether it's, the mall, the stores, grocery stores, I mean, someone is always wearing something Jurassic. I see dinosaurs, something that has to do with Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. It's everywhere. And it has completely changed my life. It has opened my eyes to a whole new part of the whole sense of the word fandom, which is amazing. I follow so many fun fan accounts of Jurassic just because I find myself doing the same thing they're doing, which is like, reminiscing on the old movies, all the toys, all the games, all the stuff, like everything Jurassic. I'm just like the number one fan now. I was at Universal Studios yesterday and I got to see a lot of Jurassic stuff, including Camp Cretaceous. And I took a picture and sent it to Scott because I was just so excited. I got to see it for the first time in person and it was just, I was speechless. It was amazing. So being a part of this of the show, Camp Cretaceous in itself, first of all, is just a huge blessing. But being a part of this franchise is just something so crazy I can't even explain it.
Yeah, no, it is an incredible franchise, and what I love about it is it has fans from so many different eras, and so many people have a different way that they are introduced to it, and it just creates such a diverse group of fans that everybody loves these films and the animated series, all for different reasons, but they all share a love for the same thing in just many different ways. Also, you mentioned Scott. Speaking of Scott, I do believe Scott has joined us. Scott, could you introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Woo, Scott!
Hi, my name's Scott Kramer. I am one of the executive producers and showrunners of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous.
So, for somebody who doesn't know, could you give us a little bit more context on what a showrunner does and kind of what your role with Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous is?
Well, my job is to not mess this up. So basically, I and our other showrunner, Aaron Hammersley, sort of oversee all aspects of it, from the writing to the boarding to the voice acting to the designs. It's pretty much just kind of make sure that we're all going together and working towards one goal together. I mean, basically, my goal is to set everybody else up for success, and then let them use their amazing talent to take us to make something special.
Awesome. Now I'm gonna give you the same hashtag question from Ask JWCC. What was it like joining the Jurassic universe?
Oh, it's like a dream come true. Most of my resume comes from comedy and comedy action, so I don't think was the natural first choice. So when I got the call to be a part of this, you know, it was, like I said, a dream come true. I was a huge fan of the book, huge fan of the films, and just a chance to be a small part of this amazing franchise is beyond my wildest dreams.
And I'm going to ask you another question from the hashtag while we're on that subject of wildest dreams. What was your favorite memory of the show, either in the show itself or while working on it in production?
There's so many. It's hard to pick just one. I mean, there's been so many amazing experiences. You know, getting the job was an amazing memory. Seeing our first episode come on out, getting to walk Steven Spielberg through what we were trying to do right before lockdown started. I guess really more than anything is just seeing how the fans really embraced that first season when it came out, because we were met with a little skepticism. Is it going to be too much of a kiddie show? What are they exactly doing in there? And then so to put out a show that I'm so proud of and that the fans have embraced from the beginning, I guess that would probably have to be my favorite memory of so many.
I can only imagine. It is sort of a daunting task jumping into a universe that is so already beloved and so rich. And it's what's so awesome about it is Camp Cretaceous immediately found its way into the family and into the fandom. By the way, Paul has joined us. So, Paul, would you be able to introduce yourself?
Hey, I am Paul-Mikel Williams, and I play Darius on the cast of Camp Cretaceous. How is everybody doing?
Not too bad. I think we're all excited about the release of this new season coming up tonight.
Oh, yes, for sure. I think there might be a little bit of latency, but hopefully we're good.
We'll work through it. So let me let me ask you a question since you joined us. What's your favorite memory of the show, either in the show or while in production? And just a reminder, no spoilers for season 5.
Right. First, I think that my favorite moments, I'll try to give one for each. My favorite moment, just overall in production, was this one time where I think all 6 of the main cast got to record in the same booth. And while it wasn't really work efficient, I definitely had a lot of fun with just with recording with the cast and getting to know my castmates, because I think that was like the very first time we had all recorded together. And also just including like Scott and Serena and some of the writers and producers. It was just such a cool community to be in, and that's the first time I've ever been in a booth like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that's an incredible experience. And you kind of working on a show for all this amount of time, you really do build a bond to your character. So I guess jumping from there, I'm going to use another hashtag Ask JWCC question. How are you similar or different from your character?
Man, well, I definitely think that me and Darius are very, very similar. We both have kind of that leadership aspect of trying to be like the the people in our friend groups that keep people on track. We definitely both, lead with our hearts, while also accompanying our hearts with our brain, and I definitely feel like I connect with him on a personal level of, just being sort of like the outsider in some situations and kind of being the nerd because he's into dinosaurs. I started to get into dinosaurs when I started playing Darius as a character, but I was never the type of guy to, be like, oh, this video game is so cool and just kind of leave it at that. I would always be like, man, the people who did this animation are amazing, and and the storyboards and the writing. I was always like that one guy that people would be like, okay, but it's a good game, right? And then I'll be like, oh, well, yeah. So I definitely feel like, we're kind of like those people that dive deeper into the meanings behind things, and yeah.
No, that's a great answer. And by the way, somebody else has joined us. So Kouser, I was wondering if you could introduce yourself, and then if you could then segue from that and answer the question of are you similar or different from your character?
I love it. Hi, everyone. This is Kosser. I play Yaz. I think, well, for one, Yaz is a lot more athletic than I am, so that's one definite difference. Cannot do a pull up for my life, while Yaz can probably do many of them. And I think what I connected to with Yaz and what feels like a big similarity is sort of her connection to, her whole life she's bred as this professional athlete, and for her it was all about working, no time for anything but work, and input equals output, things are gray and black, but sort of, realizing that, there's more to life. And I feel like I connected with sort of like from that child of immigrants angle of that. You hear that story of, like, you come here to this country and you work hard, and that's sort of what's bred into the children of immigrants often. And so I feel like in that moment I was like, oh, I get it. I get, yeah. So I appreciate that about her.
Awesome. Thank you. And Rainey, the same question for you. How are you similar or different from your character?
I feel like I'm definitely very similar to Sammy. I am also from Texas, like she is. I probably don't have as thick of enough accent like she does. So I love getting to put that on and live out my true Texas dreams of doing that. I'm Latina. I have a big Hispanic family. I tend to be the mother hen of all my friend groups. I tend to be the one to like plan everything, plan all the get-togethers, get all the phone numbers and emails so everyone can stay in contact. I right when the show started, like when we started recording and stuff, I started a group chat of all of us, and then I started a separate group chat with all of us, and then Scott and Serena, our voice director. So I was in charge of that. I was in charge of taking all the pictures, but mind you, this is again very Sammy Rainey, is because nobody put me in charge. I just went ahead and put myself in charge because I was like, well, if no one's gonna take pictures, I might as well do it. And but yeah, I like Paul said, I remember us all meeting together and getting to record for the first time together as a group, and just really feeling how similar all of our characters' vibes were, and then at the same time, just the ones that were a little different, really going for it and just having a lot of fun. So I like to think that Sammy is definitely. I always say that I am very much like Sammy, except she might have a little bit more energy than I do. But I definitely that girl will give you a run for her money with that energy. It's nonstop all day long. But yeah, she's so much fun to play, and I don't know. I find myself always smiling every time I get to record all of her lines.
You know what? Segueing off of that, because there's a question that I think would go hand in hand with that. I guess, I'm going to ask you first, Rainey, but this could go for anybody. Did you ever make any suggestions for your character that changed certain elements about the character or certain lines?
Nothing offhand like jumps out at me, but there is a lot of greatness that comes with our crew when we get to record. Scott is very, very great about being very collaborative with us, and Serena, our voice director, is so awesome about, let's collab. Let's, how would you like to say it? Especially with voice, there's a lot more freedom when you're in the recording studio to kind of go, okay, so, Sammy definitely has a lot of energy. So I feel like maybe when she gets mad, maybe her energy, she's so happy all the time. And then like moments in the show when she would blow up about Manticore, or in season 4, when she blew up at the kids, for wanting to go stop Cash and them trying to stop her. And it was really nice to get to talk to Scott about that, of like, okay, obviously this girl comes from a place of all heart, right? And family is her number one motivation in life. Her family back in Texas, her camp fam, here on Isla Nublar. And so can I have that freedom to go crazy and go nuts and do that kind of thing? And then can we also try to take where maybe she gets really quiet with her energy, and maybe this is the time in her life when it kind of sucks in a little bit more, and it's very more muted and subtle and more introverted type of energy. Really though, it's funny. I they give me all these lines, all these like big paragraphs to say, and it's kind of like a, okay, Rainy, go. And I take a nice big deep breath and I just start talking like Sammy would with all my energy. So I always say like more is more with her. So the more that energy I get to have, the more that they just let me go for it.
It's funny how I can see how that could really translate to the character as well, and just really kind of allow you to get into it and feel that similarity and just kind of ride that energy. I imagine that's a very fun character to play. Um, Speaking of the cast, by the way, we have another guest who has just joined us. Ryan Potter, would you be able to introduce yourself?
Yeah, how's it going, guys? Apologies for the delay. I'm the older one on the cast, and you can tell by my tech use. Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here. And yeah, what are we diving into right now?
All sorts, basically everything Camp Cretaceous, except for any spoilers about season 5. That is the one no-go.
Yeah.
We cannot spoil season 5. Only a few more hours to go, though, which is very, very exciting.
Got it. So
I've got a question for you.
Spoilers.
Really?
Just maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I guess we could say there's dinosaurs in the show, and your characters may indeed be returning. But got a quick question for you, and it's a pretty easy one. What was it like joining the Jurassic universe, and do you have any favorite memories of the show, either in the show itself or while producing it?
One of my favorite memories is actually the shared experience that we had that Paul just talked about. Being able to be in the booth with everybody that day was it was a lot of fun. Being able to, I think, see the counterparts to the personas, in real life, gave for me as like a performer more stake to what we were doing and more investment, and I was able to just kind of drop into the character more easily, knowing and seeing the other campers in person. So that was hands down my favorite experience working on the show. And yeah, sorry, well, the first part of that question was what? I have a Kenji memory. You have to keep that in mind.
No, you're good. Just what was it like joining the Jurassic universe?
Oh, I mean, incredible. I went to Universal as a kid, and unfortunately, I wasn't tall enough to ride the Jurassic Park ride. So some workers at Universal kind of pulled me aside. They showed me the station that they operate the ride from. They gave me this like whole Jurassic Park gift bag, and it made my day because initially I was crushed that I couldn't ride it. I ended up going back and riding the ride years later. But I've been a huge Jurassic fan. I actually really like the second and third film. Like the first one's great. Like that's a classic. Everyone loves that. But I think there's a level of adventure and camp that it finds the perfect balance in the second and third film. So I've been a fan for a while now, and being able to be a part of the process is it's kind of mind blowing.
Honestly, and this is probably my nostalgia speaking, but I love them all, but my favorite Jurassic sequel would probably be the Lost World Jurassic Park. There is something about that movie that just speaks to me. The two tyrannosaurs, the raptors in the long grass, all of that. So speaking of the movies, and I think we can ask this question for everyone because this one's a little bit of a tough one, but a fun one. If you had to work for one of the 3 dino corporations, whether it be InGen, Biosyn, or Manticore, which would it be? And none of them are great. They all come with their baggage.
I mean, I'm just gonna say Manticore. I've got some loyalties there. Very excited for that storyline coming in season 5. And well, yeah, I have a responsibility as a potential future employee.
That does.
I kind of gotta roll with Ryan on that one. I definitely feel like Manticore is one of the nicest morally, in a sense. Coming from someone who recently watched Dominion in theaters, I think I'm pretty set on that, on being ethically ambiguous in this situation. But yeah, I mean, Manticore has a private island. I mean, I can't really pass that. Like, come on.
Yeah, I would probably have to agree with the guys here and say Manticore. I feel like especially because Sammy already was kind of in with them a little bit of just a little bit of some of that in season 1. So I would love to see fully what they do over there. Sometimes it's okay to be just a little adventurous in your findings with the dinosaurs. So I would definitely have to join the guys over there at Manticore.
And I'm gonna ditto off that. That's where my friends are going. That's where I want to go.
If the whole gang is there, yeah, you kind of got to go with it.
Yeah, I can't be the only one.
I'm sorry. I gotta go old school and go in Gen. And again, maybe that's just because I'm more old school than the youngsters out there in Manticore Island. But I'm sure they'll do their best.
So, Scott, I've got a bit of a deep cut question for you, actually. It's something that we've gotten a lot through the hashtag of AskJWCC. And ironically, it's just more of a fun question and not really anything to do with the show. But as you know, over the years, people have a lot to say about Isla Sorna. So this is just not what's the story, not what's canon, but the question is can you just reassure people that you think that Isla Sorna is still alive and still okay? I know that Manticore took dinosaurs from it, established in season 4. Biosin took dinosaurs, established in Jurassic World Dominion. But do you think Isla Sorna is still out there someday? And if it were, would that ever be a story, if you were ever given the chance, that you'd want to explore?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny was we were getting into this, and always the like in the canon for a time there was Sorna, all the dinosaurs had been taken off there, and we posited in our show that no, there's still some there. Are there still some out there? Maybe, and I'm sure there would be a fun story to tell out there. So, just my opinion. I think that it's still out there, and I think there's still dinosaurs out there as well.
I think that's the answer that everybody wants to hear about that island. Now it's a big mystery, and that's kind of fun about it. And here comes a little question now with just a very silly little fun question. Manticore Island, does it have a real name that you know of, or is something that maybe you cannot share?
We always figured that when Kenji's dad got the island, that he just named it Manticore Island. There may be another name, but I can't tell anybody on this call.
The unofficial name from the Khan family is the Spring Break Crash Pad, and that is the official name.
Wow, you guys just got some breaking news there. Exclusive Ryan Potter news right there.
Yeah, I didn't even know that one.
I think we were going to do spoilers, but I guess it's out there now.
Well, you know what? Let's go to an easy question, and it's probably one that we probably should have started out with, but it's on the Ask JWCC hashtag. I don't know why I keep struggling on that, but going through the list, what's your favorite dinosaur? Ryan, you can start.
Oh, Mosasaurus. Next.
Paul, do you want to take it?
Yeah. um, Ryan, first of all, I just want to say that was an A1 grade A stutter right there. Amazing choice. I feel like every time I say this, like maybe not to other people, but every time I say this, it feels really controversial. But I'm always like stuck. My favorite dinosaur is always going to be the Scorpius Rex. After I saw how season 3 played out, it was just a phenomenal sequence in its entirety. But if I had to go with Jurassic Park, Jurassic World era, it's always going to be Ankylosaurus. I just loved that dinosaur from when I was a little kid.
Paul, you seriously took both of my answers. I literally was going to say the Scorpius Rex because it is so incredibly scary. And then there was 2 of them at one point. I would say that, of course, Ankylosaurus, because hello, Bumpy. Literally, Bumpy should be on Twitter Spaces too. Bumpy literally is the 7th main cast member. Let's be real.
Can we get a soundboard for Bumpy real quick? Can somebody just make that?
Yeah. Where's Serena at with her dinosaur noises when they need her?
Solid. I would say I love a good pterodactyl. Love that they got wings. And also second place for me is velociraptors. So yeah, between the 2.
I would say when I started the show, I was I love the T-Rex, always loved the T-Rex. But now, having seen Bumpy literally, hatched on screen and watching her grow up, I'd have to go to Bumpy and the Ankylosaurus.
Honestly, a lot of good answers, and it's hard not to love Bumpy. I honestly cannot get over how adorable and how quickly I immediately fell in love with Bumpy. Absolute grade A, top-notch character. Speaking of dinosaurs, how did you, Scott? How did you choose some of the species of dinosaur for the for Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, I should say?
Well, hidden away in the dark reaches of Universal, they've got this. It's basically called like a franchise handbook, and in it, it talks about the timeline and the characters and all the dinosaurs that are established on each island, as well as those that could plausibly be there. So that's where we got our chance to play and kind of dig a little bit deeper into the ones that could plausibly be there, such as an Ouranosaurus or the other, the Monolophosaurus. So there was a finite list. We couldn't just make up anything we wanted, other than a failed medical experiment like the Scorpius Rex. So we started there and started digging in and thought, well, what would be cool to put on screen?
Honestly, some of my favorite Jurassic dinosaurs have now come from Camp Cretaceous. Something about the really kind of reptilian nature of the Monolithosaurus, the colors and the way they look and behave, and the sequences that play out in the show just made that one of my absolute top favorite Jurassic dinosaurs now of all time. Like, it's right up there with the Velociraptors and the Tyrannosaurs and everything else for me. Just a really, really, that established itself so quickly.
I'm glad to hear that. It was sort of a happy accident. Originally, in that Casa de Kenji episode, they were going to be the Dilophosauruses. But at that point, Dominion hadn't been pushed back yet. And so they were going to save the Dilophosaurus for Dominion. And as luck would have it, we were able to put it out first anyway. But yeah, when we pivoted to the Monolophosaurus, and looking back, I'm really glad that happened, because it's an underappreciated dinosaur, and I really like what we did with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That really worked out. I'm so glad. I'm so glad it worked out that way. 'Cause like I said, it's one of my all-time favorites. Pivoting on to another question from the Ask JWCC hashtag. I'm going to go to Rainey for this one, and then we can go through everyone else. If your character were to be dropped into any one of the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World films, what scenario would you like to see them have to interact with and potentially try to survive?
I would. Well, first of all, I don't know if she would survive. Let's be real, in those cowboy boots. 5 seasons, she's been running in cowboy boots. I mean, her feet just must be a giant blister at this point. Let's be real. She would definitely have to ditch those and find herself some like Skechers at some point. First of all, I mean, just I don't know about those cowboy boots. Ooh, let's see. Oh man, I feel like I don't know if I would want her in like the first batch of the movies because they kind of didn't know what they were doing at that point. I mean, do they really know what they're doing every movie? Somehow the dinosaurs still get out every single time. And they wreak havoc every single time. So I don't know if she could survive in the first batch of the movies. Definitely not the first movie. I feel like she would be gone in a heartbeat. But in the Jurassic World movies for sure with the oh darn, the name is escaping me of the what is it, the things that they ride on? I know one of you guys know it. The
Gyrospheres?
the
Those
gyrospheres. Yes, thank you. I would love to experience that, like to have her do that in the gyrospheres and have to like get away from the dinosaurs. I think that would be so awesome. When I saw it in Jurassic World, it looked so amazing, and then of course we had it on our show, and it just looked even cooler in animation. So I would love to have her experience that and try to get away from those dinosaurs. I feel like the gyrospheres might be a good shot for her because I don't know, Sammy's one of the fastest runners in our group, so I feel like she could get away pretty quick in those things.
I guess I'll take this next. Man, I actually think that I would want to see not only just Darius but all of the campers in a normal setting because I can't like express this enough, but there was a severe lack of fillers in this show. We got some really cool glimpses of, you know, just kids being kids and like a little bit of the first episode, and then when they had the yacht party, and I was like, man, I really wish we could have recorded some of these scenes. And we see a little bit of, you know, kids being kids in season 5, which I'm not going to spoil anything, but yeah, I just really like to see Darius in a setting where, you know, he's just enjoying his time at Jurassic World and, you know, not constantly being chased by dinosaurs. Also, Rainey, I really liked how you touched on the point that not one of these 6 children has Dr. Scholl's in their shoes at all.
Yeah,
So
don't know how we've done it. And you're talking about, I mean, you're talking about having a Jurassic movie with no chaos in it. I don't know if that could actually exist in this world.
This just became an orthopedic ad.
This season sponsored by Skechers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say probably I'm gonna take it back to Jurassic Park, and only because it's so iconic. And I remember watching this as a kid and just being like, "This is so cool." So I want to take Yaz back there to the water cup scene in the Jeep with the T-Rex. I would love to see that.
That is a great answer. And Ryan, do you have a scene that you think you'd like to see?
I do. I think Kenji needs to have a dialogue with Ian Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum's fantastic character, on who wears the captain hat, and basically just massive amounts of terror, people being eaten, and it's just Ian and Kenji just, you know, talking about who owns the captain hat. I think that'd be pretty great. I would enjoy it. I'd laugh. I kind of want to see it happen now.
Wow, that definitely needs to be a thing.
You know, given the right context, that does sound like a situation that would play out. I do want to direct the conversation carefully, without spoilers, onto season 5. So I have a question. I will go right back to you, Ryan, and then we'll go through the lineup. What are you most looking forward to this season and for fans to see? And again, without spoilers.
I mean, specifically for me, Kenji has a pretty awesome arc this season. We really dive into kind of why he is the way that he is, and we haven't we haven't spent too much time with his history and his past and the kind of his emotional baggage. So seeing how his relationships with his camp family, the dinosaurs, and his actual family get tested, and where his kind of allegiances lie, is for me just like the highlight of Kenji this season. So I'm really looking forward to seeing those storylines play out.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say something that I really want the fans to experience is kind of the mentality of the campers at this point. Ryan was also touching on it a little bit, seeing where people's allegiances lie, and something that we got to see in season 4 was children talking about their mental health, which I thought was a really really dope addition, especially since a lot of parents and children watch this show together. So seeing the emotional relationships that people have with each other, and seeing bonds get tested, both strengthened and a little bit more tense. I'm just super excited for the fans to see what the finishing product was with the emotion that we put into our characters in some really specific scenes. So
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of jump on what Paul said there with the relationship aspect of it, a family. These kids have been through a lot together these last 5 seasons, and without giving any spoilers away, like he said, a lot of bonds are tested. They go through a lot of things, especially emotions. I mean, at the end of the day, what I always love to say is, I mean, these are still like teenagers. We're still kids trying to like work through our own feelings, our own mental health, our own problems, as well as running from dinosaurs. So I'm really excited for the fans to see how our creative team came up with that for this season. And speaking specifically for Sammy, you know, a lot of what she does is family oriented and family motivated. And what does that mean for her with her family back home and for her family here, with the way that they left things off in season 4 going into season 5, she doesn't know where to go, and she doesn't know who to stand by and what to do. And to not be a family is one of the worst things that you could ever do to Sammy. So I'm really excited for the fans to see how she deals with that, how she copes with her feelings, and then just some awesome lovely things along the way that happened to her that I'm really excited for, and that I can't wait for the fans to see. You should ask us this question tomorrow and it'll all make sense of the answers we're giving. So that's all we can say for now.
But for now, we leave you in mystery. And I think, just to add to what everyone was already saying, I think I know personally, I'm just always so excited about the animation. It's one thing when you record it, or even, do, follow up ADR after you record the initial one. But seeing it in its completion, the animation team and the artwork never ceases to blow me away. And I feel like every season it just gets more and more enthralling. So I know that's something I cannot wait, because my jaw will drop.
There's honestly so much in the season to talk about. And it's really tough not talking about it, having seen it. And I'm so excited for tonight and tomorrow when everyone is going to have the opportunity to see it. I do want to kind of piggyback off this question. I think this kind of has a similar directive, but what is one message you hope fans take away from this season and the series? Causer, if you want to start.
I think this is sort of what's been happening this whole time, is really the power of found family, I think, and the bond of relationships and just how they grow together. And a recurring theme really feels like how much stronger they are together and when they're working together. And I hope that folks take away sort of that feeling of familial friendship with it, because who doesn't want 5 other best friends to run for your lives from dinos with. Yeah.
Man, I think there are just so many things in this show, just spanning the entire series, that I really want fans to take away. I think that one aspect of the show that really speaks to me right now is, having a voice, because that's like the one, so one thing that I've seen from every single one of these characters up into this season. Just, from Yaz talking about, having nightmares, to Darius, being moral and protecting the dinosaurs, and it's just like we see a lot of these kids sticking up for their beliefs against people, against adults, and against nature and against animals. And I guess that's the main thing that I want people to take away from that, is that no matter how old or young you are, you will always have a voice no matter what, and you will always have an opinion. And sometimes it just takes action, despite what the social norm is telling you to do. So
I love how our show celebrates each character's unique qualities about themselves. And I think that kind of goes with a little bit of what Paul was saying, is, the voice aspect of us not being afraid to be ourselves. I love that it showcases that, because we are each 6 unique individuals. We are all not the same 6 characters. And I feel like if we were, the show would be incredibly boring, because it's just watching 6 of the same people make the same decision about things to do. And we all do have opinions, and we all do have different thoughts about things, and different morals and values, and different ways of life that we look at. But what I've always loved about the show is it celebrates that. We bicker and we argue about what we're going to do, about the dinosaurs, or about, new people on the island in our past seasons, but we never one time like shame other people for that. We're very open to listening to ideas, celebrating differences, and then trying to understand where the other person is coming from and why they came to that conclusion. So I really love that they showcase that in the real world there will be people out there that have different opinions from yourself, but together you guys can work as one unit and solve the problem. And I really, really love being able to showcase everyone's unique abilities and their own little cool personality traits.
Following that up, I'm not gonna try and give any advice, because I think Rainey just did a phenomenal job of kind of summing up all of the beautiful morals that this show touches on. So I'm gonna take us in the opposite direction and just focus on enjoying the moment, having fun, and having yacht parties, because really at the end of the day, the most important thing are yacht parties and wearing your own captain's hat to the yacht party. With all that nonsense aside, there's a really beautiful storyline this season with Kenji and his family, and I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to it. I can't really talk on it too much without kind of giving away any spoilers. So I guess my answer will have to kind of wait until the end of the season, but I hope you guys enjoy the kind of family drama that comes with this season, and the stories and the lessons that are going to be kind of unraveled in the final episodes.
Right. But again, most importantly, Kenji's captain hat.
Yes, Kenji's captain hat.
Let's not miss the priority. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
When they make box sets of these shows, they need to include like a special edition Kenji's hat for every box set purchase.
I need it. Take my money.
Please, DreamWorks, give us gifts for season 5 of just Kenji's yacht hat.
That's
and then take us on out on a yacht.
Only thing I asked for, only thing I've ever asked for, was a Funko Pop of the main cast and the supporting cast.
Oh my gosh, please, that's my dream.
Awesome.
This sounds like it needs to happen. To be honest, it really does. And on the topic of Captain Hats, Scott, what is your thought? No, Scott, if you could give me the answer on what is the one message you hope fans take away from this season and the series, And was there anything? What is it that you're most looking forward to fans seeing this season, without spoilers?
Well, you know, these amazing actors just told you everything. You know, we over this whole thing, you know, and we started this before lockdown and quarantines and pandemics and everything. But the message of this whole thing has always been we're stronger when we're together. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter if you have a similar frame of reference. It doesn't matter anything. What matters is we're all in this together. We're all people, and it's you know it's all, you know it's all about love, and it's all about working together, and you know it. They all said it better than I could ever, but that's what it's about. You know, this show is there to it can be tough being a kid, and if we can give kids an escape so they can go and feel what it would be like to work with their friends to fight the bad guys and save the dinosaurs and celebrate each other and lift each other up, then you know I'm here for it. As far as this season, you know, there's a lot. You know, it's very rarely do you get a chance as a writer to watch the evolution of all these characters, for to have the time to do it, and our amazing writing staff has just taken great pains and with a lot of thought and a lot of love into watching that. And then you know you see what you know these amazing actors bring to it as well. You know, it's not an easy gig. You can't use your face, you can't use your physicality. They convey so much heart in their voice, and then our amazing artists and animators just take that and run with it. But there's a lot of love this season. There's a lot of dinosaur action, some throwback Jurassic dinosaur action. But yeah, most of all, I just want everyone to see where these kids that we met so long ago end up, and how they've all grown as individuals and as this camp family.
No, absolutely. The characters are the heart of this show, and I think going into the show, I obviously expected to like the characters, but I never expected to be so deeply invested in these characters in these ways and be taken on the journey that the show takes us on while watching these characters grow, watch them go through the trials and tribulations of their evolution as individuals, as a family, and grow their relationships and encounter new situations. And I think the show just does a phenomenal job of bringing these characters on this awesome journey and bringing the viewer along for that ride. And it's definitely something special.
Well, thanks, man. You know, it's obviously a huge team effort, and you know, it's nice of you to say that. And again, thanks to all of the fans who've been taking this amazing journey with us all.
I gotta throw a rapid fire question. Any fun facts, again, without spoilers or without touching on things that we can't, any fun facts about the series that people might not necessarily know? Or let me rephrase that. Do you think there's any Easter eggs that fans have yet to find?
I actually think that the fans have been extremely observant based on what I have seen through social media. I don't think the fans have missed a single solitary Easter egg that has been put in the series at all. But coming off of that, I think that a really fun fact about us recording as a team is that we rarely get any work done when 5 or more of us are in one space at a time.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Like, you know, we obviously got to record a lot pre-pandemic, before everything went down, and the memories that everyone so speaks of I think there was maybe 2 or 3 sessions total where all 6 of us, the main cast, were in the same room together. And there was one of them where we went Go down to the basement. Do you guys remember that? We had no cell service down there, and it was like this long, dark hallway, and then it opens up to this huge animation room, which was beautiful. Yeah, anytime we guys are together in one booth, zero work gets done. And then I think everyone at DreamWorks was like, okay, pandemic, we'll get them on Zoom. Obviously they can't like talk too much together. No, what we would do is then chat with each other, like type things to each other. And then at one point we changed all of our names on Zoom to like one whole name. So like at one point we were all Sean Gambroni together, and then we were all Scott Kramer at one point. So then when they would try to like call us, to like, okay, Rainey, now it's your line, they didn't know which one was us, because then we would cut the cameras off. So that ended pretty quickly of recordings together. So those are always little fun tidbits that I love telling fans, because the amount of fun that our characters have on camera, like the amount of energy and love that you guys see on the show, is how much we're putting it in off camera as well. Like we have such a blast working together, and whether it's all 6 of us, 4 of us, or just even 2 of us, I know Causer and I get to record a lot together. We have an absolute blast every single time, and I really hope that message just conveys through the show, because we really, really love doing it.
I'm kind of boring. I don't have any Easter eggs. I feel bad. I think Paul kind of, hit the nail on the head. The fans have caught everything. I don't think anything has slipped by. Scott, is there anything that you've noticed that like didn't get the attention or the love that you were like, oh, we're gonna slip this in there?
Nearly everything. Like, and nothing comes to mind. I was particularly happy that a lot of folks responded to a reference I slid into a script when Yaz basically mentions what happened to John Hammond in the Jurassic Park book. And yeah, it's one of those things that you just slide in there, and then it was nice for the reaction that came about.
That was such an unexpected deep cut. That was such a just like as soon as that moment played out, I was like, they referenced that. Oh man, did not expect that at all. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of love and there's a lot of moments like that put into this show.
Well, I think it shows that as a writing staff and as a crew and also as a cast, I think most, if not everybody associated with this show, came in first as a fan. And you always, whatever you do in life, you always want to do a good job, of course, but there was an even bigger responsibility to really trying to get it right. And, obviously you can't bet 1,000, but it ain't for lack of trying. So a lot of care and thought and love went into everything involved with this show.
And Causer, were there any stories or anything that you would like to share from your experience on it that people might not know?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the things have been uncovered. I'm gonna put Paul on blast here in the what I hope is the best way possible. Of just like, it's also been really dope to see Paul, grow up during the series. I
Oh
think,
my gosh, here we
when
go.
when did we start shooting? When you were
I was 12 years old when we started the show.
Yeah,
I
Paul's voice
know.
was way higher than what you're hearing right now, guys.
Yeah, and just like seeing that changeover season, and but also, to me, it's what's fascinating about it is just sort of like the way it also, the trajectory of Darius's character as well, and I guess all of them growing up in that way. But I think, Darius, you're the baby of the group, but also the leader of the group, and yeah, just shouting that out. We've seen you grow up, man.
As we got later into the series, more and more often, Serena Irwin, our amazing voice director, and I would be going, all right, Paul, let's put that in your higher register. because it's just pretty soon Darius had a deeper voice than me, and he's still 13. So definitely we had to adapt along the way.
Yeah. And I'm super grateful like that you guys, stuck with me through the entire experience. Just, for I don't even know how long. How long has it been again? Like 6, I think it's been like, well, not 6. Like
No,
4
4
4
years, 4 or 5
yeah.
years.
Yep. So just sticking with me for 4 years through the voice cracks and me saying and pleading not for you to put the voice cracks in there and then putting them in there anyway. Uh, but yeah, just thank you guys so much, and thank you for the cast, just letting me in with open arms, especially since this was my first voiceover that I'd ever gotten in my life. So yeah, now I'm getting emotional again.
Well, to echo Kosser, it's been, Darius's heart really is the entry point, excuse me, is really the entry point of this whole thing. And really to see Paul grow as a performer and as a young man has been pretty amazing. And I remember early on, I think before 101 or 102, when Ryan and Paul like went out to lunch, I think before I think we recorded the stuff where they are out there shoveling dinosaur poop, and just seeing this kinship start that early was a really special memory, and it was seeing the big brother take the little brother under his wing. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks, Paul, for putting me under your wing, man. I really appreciated that.
Someone had to do
it. Someone had to do it. No, yeah, Paul and I had a lunch together just to get to know one another, and we kind of hit it off right away. The energy that we kind of found in the booth was organic in terms of that friendship and that kind of that brotherly love, and it was just a pleasure working with you, man. You brought so much energy and enthusiasm to each record that I felt like I had to match you and then like push myself harder to do better work. And dude, you brought the best out of me. So it's been awesome working with you.
Thank you so much, man. What's funny is I haven't been to that place since we went there, and I've been trying so hard to go back and get my crepes that I got there the first time.
Yeah, that food is solid. That food is so good.
Yeah, I think us as a cast like have a list of like food places to go now. I feel like we've talked about that one time. I think that was one of the times we were all in the booth. Like now we have to go to Rainy's house for hibachi. We got to go to Blue Jam Cafe for, for all of our breakfast and lunch needs.
It is always good to have a myriad of places that to get good food with your friends and family. That's for sure. And I think that's something that's really cool about the relationship that you're describing is like that chemistry reads on screen as well. There's just such a camaraderie between this cast and so much energy, and I think that that's something that's really special. And so, speaking of the cast, I have another question from the Ask JWCC hashtag as we go to close this off. I think this is one of a good near final question to get in there. What other character would you want to be other than your own character in the Jurassic franchise or Camp Cretaceous? Paul, we can start with you.
Oh shoot, put me on blast. All right. Let's see. There's so many to choose from. Having the opportunity to play Darius, I guess I have to go with, I just have to go with Owen Grady, I guess, because, I feel like one day Darius would, grow into his shoes and raise a hand to every dinosaur that he sees in in confident, in what is that? In confident defensiveness and putting trust in dinosaurs. I just have a feeling that that's who he'd grow up to be.
I'm gonna, I would say probably Counselor Dave. You know, I want to make a mixtape, and he's so much fun. So that would be a nice fun alt. So I can live my music career life, which would never happen otherwise.
Oof. I mean, the amount of dinosaur knowledge that Darius knows is just beyond anything I feel like any of us could compare to. So I would love to have that amount of dinosaur knowledge, especially if I'm stuck on an island. The way that we've been the last 5 seasons. And I don't know. I would also love to have a yacht and a cool yacht hat. So I feel like Kenj is a cool character to go. But then again, Counselor Dave, the mixtape. I mean, so many choices here. So and then of course we could always be Bumpy too, guys. Let's be real. So many choices to come back to. I think we just got to do a whole nother show and just we all get to switch characters. Everyone just takes a step to the left and become a whole nother character.
I actually want to say something real quick because in season 4, speaking of Dave, thank you, Causer, for reminding me. This is a fun fact for the fans. There's actually a moment in season 4 where Kenji is kind of making his own remix of Dave's mixtape, and I don't know about my castmates, but I also was it was taken out, but I did like a minute and a half of remixing that tape. So I don't know if anybody else did it, but
I think it was one of the Zoom sessions when we were all together and they had us all do it one at a time on Zoom. And we did. Yeah, that is right. Scott, where did all that go? You guys just put a song together to just listen to when you guys are editing the show?
ruined our music career, man.
Yeah, it's my current ringtone right now. Is all you guys, but for the show, we decided just to go with the Kenji of it all.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, to kind of hop on that answer of who else Kenji would be or who else I'd like to play, I think Kenji evolving into the Mosasaurus would be interesting. I'm trying to like envision the Mosasaurus wearing a skin tight blue long sleeve shirt and a captain hat, and I really hope someone does fan art of that so that can at least exist somewhere in the internet and aside from just my brain.
I'm sure just give it a little bit of time and that will probably pop up somewhere. And Scott, then for you got a little bit of a wider variety of characters to choose from because you could be any character. So what character would you like to be if you had the opportunity?
Gosh, that's tough. It's like picking between my children. I don't know. I've always usually you get what character you most like, and I always feel like I'm a bit of a mixture of Darius and Ben, early Ben, as opposed to Bandana Ben. But Yaz is Yaz is so cool, and nothing against anyone else, but I think if also I can't do a pull up either, cost. So maybe that's it. But just I really love Yaz and Yaz's whole arc through the thing. So I'm gonna say Yaz.
I'm with you, Scott. Pull-ups are just hard. They're just hard.
It's too hard. It seems it's a bad idea. But anyway.
Well, I think that is a very good answer. And I think on that note, we are about to wrap this up. So I just wanted to give everybody an opportunity to, well, first of all, thank you for joining us, but also everyone an opportunity to say goodbye. And if you'd like to, remind fans about this season 5 and anything that you'd like to say that's not a spoiler ahead of tonight or tomorrow's release. We could start. Yep, there you go. Paul, go ahead.
Put it on your calendar. It is 3 hours and 50 minutes till, I think. Yeah. Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous season 5 coming out on Netflix in about 3 hours and now 49 minutes. And and that is the end of the series. I hope the fans really, really enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed, making it for them. Not just the cast, but also the crew. And yeah, I'm starting to get into my elevator voice, so I'm gonna head out.
The elevator voice. Love that. Um, watch the show, tweet it, Instagram it, TikTok it, YouTube it, whatever social media thing you do, do that. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the hard work that the cast and crew have put into this show for 4 years now. The series is coming to a beautiful conclusion, and I can't wait for you guys to all see it. And that was spoiler free, so I did my job.
Rainy, if you want to. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, I think I would just add, thanks for being along for the ride. It's just been such a fun journey. So thanks for that. And certainly going out on a bang and really seeing these characters develop along the way. So yeah, just excited for what's coming up. Heartstrings will be pulled, folks.
Thank you guys so much for being on this wonderful journey. It has just been phenomenal. This show is so wonderful. I'm just so excited. I cannot wait for everyone to watch season 5 tomorrow, or like in 3 hours, like Paul said. I cannot wait to see what you guys have to say. I can't wait to hear all of the exciting things that you all have to say. This show has been life-changing. This cast and crew is amazing, and all the love and hard work that everyone puts into it, was just amazing. I definitely shed some tears when we recorded our last episode. So, I hope you guys love it. We can't wait for everyone to see it. And just from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for welcoming us with open arms into the Jurassic franchise and being there with us and growing up with our characters and going on all of our adventures together. And I hope you really, really enjoy season 5.
Well put, Franny, and everyone. Yeah, I guess what I want to say is thank you. Thank you to the fans who've been with us from the beginning, and a huge thank you to this cast and our crew, who just really, worked hard on this. And this, for the fans out there, we did it for you. So I really hope it means something to you. It means something a lot to us, and we'll hope it means a lot to you too. So thanks for being with us. Thanks all for being here today, and supporting us this whole crazy journey.
It is very bittersweet that Camp Cretaceous is coming to an end with season 5, but I know that I am super excited for everybody to see how this journey comes to an end tonight. It comes out tonight on Netflix, or rather tomorrow, tonight, however you want to look at it. So I hope everybody gets a chance to tune in, whether it's a very late night for you, a very early morning, or you just watch it when you get a chance, however you watch it. I know that we are just very excited for you to watch it. But it's coming out on the 21st, midnight Pacific time, Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Season 5. Again, thank you so much for everybody joining us tonight, all of our guests, as well as all of our listeners. This has been a great time, and we cannot wait for everybody to see the show.
Thank you guys so much. Camp Fam for life.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much.